She has done some work for Rockstar before on GTA 5.
I think it would make sense for Rockstar to want to work with people they'd work with, they know who they could trust.
Hi, my name's Nathan, this is the Future Game Show, and if you've been wondering who exactly it is that's going to be playing our brand new Grand Theft Auto 6 protagonist, then our very own JJ and Dan from GTA sleuthing podcast GTAVIoclock might just have some new leads.
Right then, another thing that happened over the Christmas period, and I'm not going to say this was related to the episode that we did just before Christmas, where we discussed all of the upcoming potential voice actors, but there has been a rejuvenated hunt for who could be Lucia, and there's a couple more suspects. Are we going to call them suspects? Potential candidates that have come out. Let's not call them suspects. First one that came out was Anna Esposito. We can probably put some images side by side on screen. I'm not really sure where this rumor came from. I think it was just that, like we discussed, she hadn't done anything for a while. She sort of looks a bit like Lucia, and can do the sort of Latino, Hispanic, white, that kind of accent or ethnicities. But I think very quickly people moved on from her. She looks reasonably like her, but not as much as the one that people really latched onto over the holiday break, which was Manni L Perez. Now, she has obviously been investigated quite a lot by everyone on the internet. She's unfollowed quite a lot of people on Twitter recently. Yeah. She ended up clearing out her Instagram and Facebook for a bit. She has done some work for Rockstar before on GTA 5. Yeah. And we've got images of her that we can put up side-by-side comparisons. I think Steve 8K on Twitter shared this one for it. I'm not sure if he made it himself or he got it from somewhere else. But if you did make it, thanks, Steve.
Yes, credit where it's due.
Thanks for sharing it. There's a clip, there's multiple clips of her going around. She's done a few interviews in the past when people directly ask her.
Is there anything, just a smidge, that you could give us on what you're doing right now, that you're on the set of?
What I'm doing right now, it's big, but NDAs. That's all I can say.
I got you. I understand. Okay, is it a TV show or a movie?
I can't even get into that.
Oh. Action comedy?
Man, I wish if I could, I would. But I like making my monies, and listen, and they love NDAs. So
I totally understand. All right, so
but there's also some clips of her doing other acting work, which, if you put them side by side with the trailer, does sound very similar, but as do many other people.
Yeah, I had fully convinced myself. 75% convinced myself that Natalie Morales, who we talked about in our previous episode, was a good pick, which I stand by. I think physically she is a good resemblance for Lucia. And again, this is such a crude cipher for picking who the actual actor should be, but you've only got to look at the GTA 5 cast and go, they look like their characters they play. That's going to be a thing. I'm convinced of it. They are going to look like the people that they play. Natalie Morales is a really good physical match for Lucia. You can also, again, in the images we've shared on screen, make an incredibly strong case for Manni L Perez. I think the audio interview she's done, where they quiz her about the next project she's doing, you could talk yourself into believing that's compelling evidence where, she dances around the fact there's an NDA, the project's really big. Also, you could get excited about the fact that she won't even say what media she's working in, because the host says, is it a movie or a TV show? And she goes, I can't even say that. Almost like, she can't say it was. If you said it was a game, it feels like a clanging klaxon.
Yeah. I guess one thing, now we're talking about it out loud in the space, in the confinement of this room. Yeah. One thing you could read into is, if it was a big project in the movie or TV land, most of those announcements happen pretty early in production. Yes. Or there is a teaser trailer or an announcement that person X is playing the lead in this, and they start that kind of coverage quite early. None of that has happened yet for her in a TV and film role. So if you were going down the path of convincing yourself, you would say it's something that's further off or that can't be talked about.
Yeah, which you could again create a spider web to the fact that her social media has gone dark and she's unfollow people. Now look, I know lots of people who've done that because of their mental health.
Yeah.
Because it's a disaster out there on social media. So I could easily believe that description as well. So I feel like what I'm saying is I can't choose between Natalie Morales or Manni L Perez. I could construct a case for both. I couldn't definitively say either way. If anyone has done any further research or found anything in the communities they feel tips the balance, please let us know in the comments. I also think we'll pop this up on our Twitter page and get people to vote as a little bit of fun because there are other names in the mix. But it doesn't feel at the moment we're speaking that there's a definitive candidate. There's just lots of strong cases.
Yeah, and I don't think if the precedent of GTA 5 is anything to go by, that we will find out definitively until the game comes out. Because we didn't, we knew, but it wasn't officially announced until, I think, release day before the actors said, hey, now it's out. I can tell you, yes, I am Trevor, I am Michael. So that is probably going to continue for the next year or so of speculation and things. And, as you never know, as we get more trailers and more things to look at, it might become more and more obvious. But I don't see a world in which Rockstar are going to officially announce anything until release date, probably.
And the further crumb, I suppose, like we talked about, was Manni L Perez has previously voiced a GTA game. And in fact, if you're looking for historical precedent, so had Sean Fonteno, who was Franklin in GTA 5.
Yeah.
And he had previously played, well, essentially a nobody in GTA San Andreas. He was like part of one of the Grove Street gangs. But in real life, I think it would make sense for Rockstar to want to work with people they'd work with. They know who they could trust. They've already had them in the studio. They might go, oh, so-and-so. These are how real-world conversations happen. That person was good, weren't they? Yeah. Oh, well, what about this role? Oh, maybe, actually, that would be... It's always easier to work with people you know, so there's a tiny extra crumb to say, maybe it's Manni L Perez. Nothing is definitive. Please let us know in the comments, and we'll put a Twitter poll up, and do let us know.
Yeah, well, I'll hang my hat on Manni for now, and let's see where we get to.
Well, let's say you want Manni, I want Natalie Morales, purely for the fun of pretending we want different things.
Yeah.
And then we can say who is right, but that's not one I'm taking to my grave.
No, okay, fair enough.
So there you have it. If you enjoyed that clip, why not check out the full podcast over on the GTA 6 o'clock YouTube channel with a new episode at 6 PM GMT every Wednesday. We've dropped the links below and we'll have clips and highlights from the show right here on the FGS channel too. Oh, I tell you, we're too good to you.